So this is the first day. Okay, before I start off with the training, I will just take up a few basic frequently asked questions, right, which people have before the training, right. So, guys, just 1 minute. Prashanti is right. So I'll be discussing few FAQs, right. The first thing is that what all will be taught in the course. All right. Look, it's very simple. Basically, Selenium will be taught, WebDriver will be taught. We will take up frameworks. Okay, it's an end-to-end project, Maven and TestNG, Grid. So we will be going through all of these things. All right. And yes, you will be getting access to the videos as well, the recordings and all along with the training. We will be recording the current session and you will be getting access to the recordings of the current session as well. All right. If you go to our website, qtpselenium.com, and over here there is a Selenium training section. You go out here. Under this, there are 44 modules. You will get access to all the 44 modules, and you will get the access to the recordings of your current batch as well. Okay. Then at times people ask that is Java required? I don't know programming. Yes, Java is required. You cannot do without Java language. Okay, right. And look, at times people say that I know Java superficially and something, so that won't help here. You need a good understanding of core Java, right? And I know it's tough for a beginner, but it's not so tough that you cannot learn it. It just becomes easy with time, right? But I'm assuming in this training that you know basics of programming. That is, you know basics that what is if statement, for loop, while loop, functions, variables. All right. Fine. And at times people have questions that I need to clear an interview, I need to have help in my project, right? How much time will it take? Look, to learn this tool, it takes you just 10 days. Okay. It just takes 10 days. But to learn it to a level where you can clear an interview, it takes around 6 to 8 weeks. All right. Fine. So that's the thing. Just a minute. Okay. So to learn it professionally where you can clear an interview or you can go forward and do a project end to end, it takes around 6 to 8 weeks. The duration of this training is 25 to 30 hours, and in this we will, in 50% of the training we will be giving to WebDriver, Java, testing and all. 50% of the training we will be doing a project, or basically what a framework, basically a framework. Fine. Can you give some kind of live project? We do give a project. It's a basically project is a framework, and we will be learning how to develop a framework in this training. Okay. So anybody with any questions? Anyone with any questions? Please let me know. Anyone with any type of questions, please let me know. Because it's good that if you ask me your doubts very clear forward. Don't hesitate. If you have any questions, just feel free. Okay, no question is a bad question. You can simply ask. All right, fine. So I have this day by day distribution of the course out here. Okay, so we will see every day that what we will be doing day by day. Today is just the introductory day, day one, wherein I will just tell you a few basic concepts in Java and installation and downloading Selenium and all. Look, in this training, I will not be teaching you Java first and then Selenium. I don't do like that. I teach Java and parallelly I teach Selenium. Okay. I will be teaching you the concept of Java, and then I will be telling you how that concept will be used in Selenium. Okay, right. Now, the thing is about Java, if I tell you very honestly, look, if you learn this tool, today if you learn Selenium, and tomorrow if you have to learn any other tool, for example, Appium, which is based on again Java, then you learn another tool like you learn JMeter, which is for performance testing, or you go and learn Load Runner, or you learn REST Assured, which is for REST API testing, or it is also known as or SOAP-UI is also another tool, right, which is for API testing. So learning the other tools, it becomes easy because you have a background, you have some background, you have a background in Selenium, you have a background in Java. So learning other tools, it becomes all right. So it's just about giving just 1 minute. Okay, just a minute, guys. Sorry, I had a network issue. What I was telling you was basically you're learning Selenium. Okay, if you learn this tool, then learning other things, it becomes easy. For example, you have Appium. Appium is a tool for mobile automation. Okay, JMeter, Load Runner for performance, Rest Assured or SOAP-UI, these two tools are for web services. If you learn Selenium, if you learn Java, you have some knack, you develop a knack, then learning other tools, it becomes very easy. Okay, if you learn Selenium, then learning other tools, it becomes easy. So the initial problem is just learning Selenium. Right, in this training, I would request you that whatever I am training you on, go back and practice it regularly. Okay, otherwise, when I do the framework, when I start off with the frameworks, you will lose the interest. Okay, by the time I start the project. So I would request you to practice regularly and starting with a brief history of Selenium. Okay, look, the thing is, initially we had, basically there are three components in Selenium. If you talk in a nutshell, Selenium comprises of three components. There are three components in Selenium, and initially these three components, hold on, somewhere around 10 years back, okay, these were Selenium RC, okay, IDE, and Grid. IDE is still used. It's basically a record and run tool which only works on Mozilla. It's of no use. You don't need to learn that. Nobody uses that. This is just a primarily record and run tool and it will only work on Mozilla. It generates no reports, nothing. So you don't need this. Selenium RC could build dynamic script. It was there somewhere around 10 years back. And when I had worked on it for the first time, I also felt that there were major drawbacks in this tool. Although this tool helped you to test your scripts on multiple browsers, it was available in multiple languages as well, like Java or C Sharp, Ruby, Perl, PHP. Okay, fine. And the major thing is it you could write dynamic scripts in RC because there used to be programming language involved and all. Okay, it could generate reports for you as well. Okay, but apart from these, there were multiple issues in this tool. Right. So we came up with a WebDriver somewhere in August 2011. Okay, 2.2.0. Right. And WebDriver again worked on multiple browsers, multiple languages, generated reports, and it was way better than RC. It was completely different than RC. It was not that RC was upgraded to WebDriver. WebDriver was completely different. Okay, and there were a lot of improvements, and this tool then became famous. All right. Then you had IDE is still there, and Grid is also still there. Grid helps you to run the test cases parallelly. Whatever scripts you are making in WebDriver, if you want to run them parallelly across multiple machines, then you will use Selenium Grid, and Selenium Grid will make your work faster. Okay, this is the only thing. Right. Today we have the right now the version for Selenium is 3.11 or 1.2 has come up. Okay, there is not a much of difference. And we will learn this. Alright, fine. Now I am assuming you know the basics of programming and all. Right. So the first thing is that you need to download a JDK, the Java Development Kit. If you have JRE, it's fine. Right. Download a JDK. If you have JRE, it's fine, but you need to have JDK as well. Alright. And download JDK 8. Go to this URL. Right. I will give you this URL on the WebEx chat as well. And you can say that accept the agreement and download the exe file for your respective operating system. Right. Once you have downloaded it, you can install it, and then after installing, you can go to your C drive program files. Under Java, you will have the JDK folder. Okay, JDK is must. Everybody must have worked with Eclipse. Okay, I know that, but still I will just tell you. You need to download Eclipse. Eclipse is the editor for Java language. Okay, so go and download Eclipse. Right, so you can download from here Eclipse Oxygen, download 64-bit. You can simply download it. Right, after you configure it, you will get this exe which you can start. In my case, I have this pinned over here. Okay, or in your case, hold on, just 1 minute. My case, yeah. If you open up the Eclipse folder, you will have this eclipse.exe. You just need to start it. Right. So everybody must have done this, right? And when you start up Eclipse, Eclipse is the editor. We will be writing all the code over here. This is known as the workspace path, the path where you will be storing the complete code when you are in the training. Okay, I'll give the workspace path like April weekday 2018. Right, so let it launch. Hold on, hold on. Just a minute, guys. It's hanged. Meanwhile, what we will do is that uh, we have seen how to download Eclipse. We'll write the first Java program and start off with basics of Selenium. Look, I'll tell you what the mistake which people do while learning this tool. They directly try to write Selenium scripts, which is absolutely wrong. The official website of Selenium, if you look at it, this is the official website, seleniumhq.org. The complete API for Selenium in Java needs the knowledge of object-oriented programming in Java. Okay, and they don't learn that. So the first thing is that you should be learning OOPS, alright, and then you should jump over to this tool. Alright, on the official website, the first line is Selenium automates browser. It's an automation testing tool which is only meant for web-based applications. Selenium is not meant for Windows-based applications. Alright, you go to the download section, and in the download section, you will have, if you scroll down, you will have this column languages in which it will be clearly specified the languages in which this tool is available. Okay, right. And the client version release date. So this is the client version release date. Right, this is the current version. The change log. Change log section will tell you how the changes have been there in every version. Okay, so when a new version comes up, you can check this change log and you can check out what new has come up in this particular version. Okay, Java docs. It will give you the documentation of Selenium with Java. Okay, but you cannot understand this documentation until or unless you don't know the concept of object-oriented programming, and that is what my major focus is in the beginning. Okay, right. So this is Eclipse. It's just started. You can close this welcome screen. Right, you will have this project explorer in which we will be keeping the projects and all. You can close this outline or task. You can close this. Right. So most of you must have worked on Eclipse, right, at some point or the other. Okay. You can create a new project in Eclipse. You can go to File, New, Project. Okay. And under General or under Java, you can select a Java project. And I will call it as day 1. All right. Okay. Now this day 1 project has got a JRE system library and all. Okay, just 1 minute. Right. This JRE system library is nothing but Java which is installed on your PC. Okay. It's got a source folder as well. Fine. If you right click on this day 1 project, you will get lot of options. We will be looking at all the options in the training. One of the important options is properties, in which we will be going on again and again. Under the resource section in properties, you will have the physical path under the workspace for this project. Okay, you can copy this or you can click on this icon as well, show in System Explorer. When you click on this, that folder will open up. So this project is lying under this path. If you open up this project, you will see a lot of folders, out of which the source folder is available inside Eclipse. Okay, we will be storing all the code over here. Fine. Now, dot project path file is there. This is very important. Don't delete it. Otherwise, this project will not open up in Eclipse. Dot project path basically tells Eclipse that this is an Eclipse project. It's got Eclipse settings and all inside it. So you don't need to fiddle with anything over here. You just need to focus on this source folder. Alright, now I will make a new Java file. I'll right click on the source folder, create a new class known as sample.java. Hold on. Right. Now public class sample starts with the bracket and everything is inside this bracket. This is the main function. Main function is there in every programming language. You must be knowing this. Even in Java we have it. Right. What is public? What is static? This will come to you very gradually. Okay. Now I am assuming that you know what if statements are. You know what for loops are. You know what functions are. You know what variables are. That is, if I write int I equals to 100, you know these basic things, because obviously I cannot just start from that level. If you are a kind of person who has never done programming, then I would request you not to join this training directly. Get the access to the videos which we have, watch them, get a background, and then join the training by paying just the difference amount, not the full fees. That will help you a lot. Okay, to print something in Java, you have system.out.println syso. Alright, and hold on. Okay, you type syso and hit control space bar of the program of the keyboard. Control space bar, select the first option. This will give you system.out.println. Okay, and I'll just print Selenium class. So when you run this program, right, you will see that Selenium class is printed out here. Okay, right. Now, if you look at the folder structure, out here under day 1, this was the source folder and this is the bin folder. The bin folder will hold sample.class file. Okay, a dot class file will, I'll tell you, corresponding to every Java file. This is sample.java. Okay, under the source folder. In the bin folder, you will have the class file generated. Okay, this corresponding to every Java file you have, a class file is generated. Fine. And this class file is like an exe file. You can deploy it on any operating system and run it. Fine. Even if I make a new class known as, say, hello with the main function, and if I run this code, it will print hello. Okay, and hello.class file will be generated. Okay, now suppose if you have a project, right, and in that project you have got hundreds of class files. You have a project, in that project you have got hundreds of class files and you have to give those class files to the client. So what we do is that we put all the class files in a single file. Okay, single file known as a jar file, and we give that jar file to the client. Okay, so that he can use these classes. For example, if you look at this project JRE system library is nothing but Java which is installed on your system. Okay, and Java is nothing but set of many jar files. Each jar file contains many class files which you can use. Okay, For example, I'll just give you an example over here. I write over here new date. Now what is new date and all? I'm creating the object. Just forget about this right now. Date is an internal class in Java and I am using that class. Okay, right. And when you run this program, it prints the current system, time, date, day, time zone, year, everything. Okay, right. So it prints everything out here. All right. And the best part is you never had to do any logical thing. You never had to write a code, nothing. It printed automatically. All right. So this is the best thing. You use the internal design of Java or the internal classes of Java or the internal things in Java which are there to print the current date. Right. So this is what is there in Selenium as well. In Selenium, everything is inbuilt. Like we have this date functionality also. In Selenium, everything is inbuilt. Only thing is that you have to first learn the concept of object-oriented programming and then you need to start working with Selenium. Okay. For example, I'll tell you this is the official website of Selenium, seleniumhq.org. If you go to the download section over here, you can download Selenium jars from here. Selenium guys, they have also provided their own jars. There is no exe for Selenium. You can download the 3.12 jar from this link. You can click on this. You can save the zip file and hold on. Yeah, just 1 minute. Just one. I'll keep it over here. So this is the current version. You extract the zip file. You will have this folder. Inside it, you will have this client combined 3.12.jar. This is the main jar file of Selenium. Ignore the other jar file. This contains the source code of Selenium. It's an open source. Anybody can check the source code. You don't need this one. This is not required. Okay. This jar along with all the jars which are present inside the libs section will be to required for you to work with Selenium. Okay, so Selenium guys, they have given their own set of jar files. In these jar files, they have made lot of internal classes. You just need to use these classes to work with Selenium. Like we have the jar files of Java over here. So you can include those jars in Eclipse. You can right click on this project. You can go to the properties and on the properties, you'll see the Java build section path. Okay, in Java build path, you will see 4 tabs. Go to the libraries tab and click on add external jars button. Go to the path where you have downloaded the jars 3.12. Include the main jar file. Select this, include it, and don't forget to add the jar files under the libs section. Okay, under the libs section, please Control A, select all the jar files and include them. Click on apply and close and you will have this section reference libraries generated under which you will have all the jar files of Selenium. Okay. You don't, hold on, you don't, if you don't get this reference library section, make sure in Java you are in Java perspective. In Eclipse, you are in Java perspective. Click on this icon in Eclipse, open perspective, and select Java from here. Okay, you will see reference library section. Alright, fine. Now you have to use the internal features of these jars. For that, you will have to learn object-oriented programming. For right now, the thing is, before I jump over to object-oriented programming, right? Few things about this course, guys. I'm taking this course. Today's day one. Things look very easy. Most of the things you must have done. But as we go on with this course, right, things will become a little tough. Okay, but you have to practice. All right, if you are not practicing in this course, it will be of no use. To be very honest, it's just like you'll be wasting your money and as well as time. Right, we are going to give you a lot of material, a lot of things will be there in this course. Okay, right. Now, out here, anybody with any questions, first of all? If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me. Anybody with any questions? All right. Now, what is the final objective? What do we want to achieve out of this? The objective is that you should be knowing how to build a framework. Okay. At times, people ask that what is basically a framework? Right. Look, suppose you have a scenario where you have to automate, say, 1000 test cases or even 100 test cases. Okay. Then suppose you write a script, Selenium script, in which you make the provision of automating those tests and all. Right. Just hold on, I'll tell you. Okay. Suppose these are your test cases which you automate individually. Right. So this is your these are your Selenium scripts. Test case 1, test case 2, test case 3. Now you want that when you run them in batch, they should run one after another. At times you should have the option to skip any test as well at your own will. You want that when you read the data should be coming from an Excel file or a properties file. Right. Along with it, you would want to generate some reports. Okay. Reporting should also be there, reporting framework. Right. You should have HTML reports and all generated with the screenshots as well of the error pages. So you should be able to embed the screenshots in the reports. Right. And then you should have uh, inside reports you should have logs that what happened at every moment when the script was running. Okay, right. Along with it, you would want that your complete framework should be integrated with Jenkins and GitHub. If you don't know what Jenkins and Git is, don't worry, I will tell you. You would want to execute it on Selenium Grid as well so that the test cases they run parallelly and you are able to save time. So in order to achieve all these things, we have a centralized controller. This controller is basically sometimes people use TestNG, people use JUnit, or people use Cucumber as a BDD tool as well. Okay, right. So the centralized controller is a kind of medium which reads the data from the files, call the test cases in certain order, the order which you want, executes them, generates the reports, and also helps you to integrate Jenkins, Git or Grid. Okay, right. So this complete thing is known as a framework. If you talk about Selenium, then Selenium as a tool is only in this green box. Selenium will only help you write your scripts. It will not, Selenium has got no feature to read Excel files. Selenium has got no feature to generate reports or to connect to Git and all. Right. Selenium can only help you to interact with the browsers and automate the process. Okay. I'm sorry. Right. Selenium will not help you in other things. So, uh, what I mean to tell you is that apart from learning Selenium, you have to learn other things as well. For example, TestNG, JUnit and all. You will have to learn how to read Excel files, how to generate reports, Grid, Jenkins, and all. A lot of things. There is Maven is there, Ant is there. So it's not just about learning Selenium. There are a lot of other things as well. Okay, right. So if you have any questions, you can ask if you have any questions. Right. Now, one of the important things which I want to tell you after configuring Selenium jars and all is debugging. Debugging is also a very important concept which is required while you are building Selenium scripts. Debugging helps you run the programs line by line. If I write over here, say int I equals to 100, fine. This was just a brief overview which I told you that this is what we want to do in the course. I'm coming back to the program now, right? And if I write I equals to I plus 100 and system.out.println I, and then I write int j equals to 10, and then I'll write j equals to I minus j, and I'll print j. So if I run this program, it will run normally and give me the output. Okay, but I can also run this program line by line at my own will. Okay, I can run this program line by line at my own will, and that I can do with the help of debugging. Okay, you can double click on in front of any line. I will double click in front of the first line. You will have a dot coming up. This dot is known as a breakpoint. Okay, you run this program in the debug mode. This is the debug icon. Okay, and you click on this debug icon and you run in this debug mode. Alright, and the program will stop on this line. Okay, green means that it has stopped, and you hit F6 of the keyboard. F6 of the keyboard will help you run this particular line. If you hit F6, it will print hello. If you again hit F6, it will print the current system, date, time, time zone, month, everything it will be printing. Okay, right. Then if you again hit F6, I will be initialized. Over here under variables, you will be able to see the variable of variable I with the value 100. Okay, if you move your mouse over I, you will see that I equals to 100 is initialized. Okay, right. And then you hit F6 of the keyboard again. Now if you move your mouse over I, the value of I will be 200 because 100 has been added. So at real time you can check the values. This is the importance of debugging. You can keep on hitting F6 and it will print 200 now. Okay, hit F6 and a new variable J will come up. Right, fine. And now if you want to run it as a normal Java program, you don't want to run it line by line, you hit F8 of the keyboard. When you hit F8, it will run normally. Okay, so F6 will help you run it line by line, and F8 will help you run it normal. Okay, right. Now you can put multiple debug points as well. If right, you can. I'll double click on this line and I'll put a debug point on this line. So I've got two debug points. Alright, if I run it in the debug mode, it will stop on this line. Okay, I can hit F6 and run it line by line, or I can hit F8 to run it normally. If I hit F8, it will stop on the next debug point. And you can check out the variable values as well. On the next debug point, again I have got two options to run it line by line, F6 or F8, anything. I am telling you this because when you are building your Selenium scripts and you really don't know what is happening, and then when they are stuck, when you're stuck out badly, then nothing will help you, only debugging will help. You should know how to debug the programs. Okay, right. Suppose I make a function over here, function like public static divide or add anything, and I take a variable y. Okay, and suppose I call the add function over here and I send I inside it, and you will have a variable int z equals to y plus 1000, and you print the value of z. If I debug this program, okay, I'll hit F6, 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 and I'll come on this line. Add function is being called over here. The value of I out here is 200. 200 will be sent into y, and 200 plus 1000 will be 1200, and 1200 will be printed. If I hit F6 of the keyboard, then the output 1200 will come up. This function will be executed. Okay, however, if I want to go inside this function, what will I do? Because it's not going inside this function, it is simply executing it. Right, I'll stop this program. You can terminate it from this red button. Right, again run it in the debug mode. Okay, keep on hitting F6 and I'll reach here. So if you have to go inside the function, the shortcut is F5. If I hit F5, the control will go inside the function. And now you can keep on hitting F6 to run it normally. You see it prints 1200 and it will come back as well. Okay, right. Or you can do another thing. Instead of hitting F5, you can put a breakpoint inside the function as well. Run it in the debug mode. Alright, and if you hit F8 now, it will go inside the function and stop. Okay, so it's completely up to you. Alright, so F5 will take you inside the function. These are the three controls and only three controls in debugging, and it's very important. You cannot ignore debugging. If you are a beginner, the only way to learn this tool properly is through debugging, and that's why I tell you this thing on the day one. Alright, you can switch to the Java perspective back. This is the debugging perspective. You can click on this icon and reach the Java perspective, the normal perspective in which we were there earlier. Alright, now anyone with any questions? Anybody? Alright, I will stop here for today.